say a few words.
Thank you very much. Hello, my name is Tim Ross, and I'm Markwayne Mullin's campaign manager. I'm here to speak on his behalf. Markwayne's very sorry that he couldn't be with you here this evening, but I know he greatly enjoyed his visit. He's down here last week for the Young Republicans meeting, and is looking forward to speaking with you all again soon when he's in the area. It's an honor to be here representing Markwayne, and it's frankly an honor to be here with the other candidates as well. Each of these gentlemen has a very impressive story to tell, and has unique visions and accomplishments to this race. We as Republicans are very lucky to have such a strong field. Now let me take a minute to talk about Markwayne and why I think he should go to Washington to represent the 2nd District. Markwayne Mullin was born and raised in eastern Oklahoma. He's a successful businessman, rancher, family man, and prior to starting the campaign, he served as youth leader in his church for many years. Shortly after Markwayne graduated, his father fell ill, and the family's small plumbing company fell into financial troubles, including over $500,000 in debt. Markwayne was only 20 years old at the time, but he took over the business working with just 6 employees. He stabilized Mullin Plumbing and grew it into one of the largest plumbing service companies in Oklahoma. Today, because of Markwayne's belief and biblical principles, Mullin Plumbing runs completely debt-free and now has over 120 employees. If you think that Washington spends too much, borrows too much, and is just generally out of touch with the working people of Oklahoma and the rest of the United States, then you can see why Markwayne Mullin is the type of person who should be elected to represent us. As Markwayne would say, running for Congress was not something that he wanted to do in his career. With a loving wife and wonderful children, many people in Markwayne's position would not want to take on the sacrifices of one running for Congress or serving in Congress. It is because of the children, though, that he felt a strong calling to serve our country in this way. For too long, we have continued to send the same type of people to represent us in Washington and have gotten the same results. Our national debt is sky high. The federal government continues to pile on regulation after regulations on the back of small business. And day by day, the American dream seems to go further and further out to reach the next generation. While all this is going on, career politicians make choices based on what is best for their own re-elections and not out of a desire to do what's right. If you go to www.mullinforcongress.com, you'll have a chance to see some of Markwayne's beliefs and promises for this race and to the people of the 2nd District of Oklahoma. One of the key promises that he makes is that if elected, he will serve no more than 6 years in Congress. By making this pledge, we can know that Markwayne's only goal in Congress will be to serve the people of eastern Oklahoma and not pander to Washington's special interests. Here in the 2nd District, we have a chance to elect a Senate Republican and, more importantly, a conservative to Washington, D.C. Today, on Markwayne's behalf and on Christie's behalf and the rest of the Mullin family, I ask that you join us in this fight against the entrenched establishment that hates the idea of a conservative Republican businessman going to serve in the halls of Congress. If you have any questions afterwards, I'll be happy to take those. Or I can give you Markwayne's personal cell phone number so that he can be in contact with you and answer anything that I can. Again, thank you very much for having me, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Okay, if I can have a representative from George Faught's campaign. Excuse me just a moment. Hopefully that'll stay. Colonel, I'm from a military family as well. You can confirm that that's the proper placement of the flag for me. I appreciate it. Everyone, my name is Elisha Krause. I'm happy to be here tonight with my husband, Eric. I am George Faught's congressional campaign manager. And thank you guys so much for doing this. I consider myself a young Republican as well. I'm 26 years old and hail from McCurtain County. And one of the things that really troubles me throughout this campaign is that there aren't enough young people involved. Most of the most frequent voters, and thank you to our oldest generation that care enough about our generation to be voting actively. And most of the active voters are 60 plus, and I think that we really need to work on changing that. And I'm really encouraged by you guys putting this together, and thanks for hosting all of the candidates or their surrogates throughout this campaign. I moved away from McCurtain County when I was 18 years old to go to college in New York City and ended up working in media. And I never thought I would come back. I always had a place in my heart for Eastern Oklahoma. I'm partial to it. I think it's the most beautiful part of the state. But I never really thought I'd come back. And George brought me back because he is truly passionate about this district and wants to make a positive difference for this area. And I believe in that calling. I believe in his platform, and I believe in his trusted, proven conservative record that he has had for the last 6 years while serving the people of Muskogee and House District 14. Like you mentioned earlier, Sequoyah County is majorly Democratic, and so is the 2nd District. And George was the first Republican to win his state House seat in House District 14, and 3 times in a row. He did self-term limit and just wrapped up his 3rd term and served the people there well. There's 4 basic reasons why I myself am supporting George. He's going to protect our faith, our family, and our rural Oklahoman way of life. He's been endorsed by Governor Mike Huckabee and the Oklahoma Second Amendment Association. He's also going to try to limit EPA regulation. George is a small business owner. He and his sons operate a carpet cleaning and fire restoration business out of Muskogee, and he understands that the more government involvement there is, the more difficult it is for the average person like you and I to create jobs. He wants to cut spending and eliminate debt and believes that Oklahoma operates on a balanced budget amendment, so we should on the federal level as well. And then finally, George helped to repeal Obamacare here in Oklahoma, and we'll do the same in Washington, D.C. If y'all have any questions for me afterwards, please feel free to come and ask me, and thank you for